Welcome, everybody. Time to get started. This is the HubSpot Admin HUG user group. Fun fact, many of you, especially those of you piping up in the chat, are here with us week after week. We are here every Tuesday. Deanna and I just crunched the numbers. Any guesses on average how many people at an event are attending for their first time? Like percentage-wise, what would you guess? Is it 5%? Is it 80%? It's not 80%.
It's not 5%.
Nobody's playing in the chat. That's fine. It's a quarter. Kelsey nailed it.
Nailed it.
Jim also very close. It was like 27%, which is more than 1 in 4. So I've always kind of breezed through the housekeeping, thinking all of you have heard this a million times. Chances are there are a good number of folks in the room right now who are here for the first time. So if that's you, welcome. Feel free to in the chat let us know it's your first time. We would love to know what brought you here. Maybe tell us what your role is in conjunction to HubSpot. Are you an admin? Are you some other type of person? Victor, welcome. That's awesome. So every week we're here at this time discussing various topics that we hope will be relevant and helpful to you. We always start out with a little bit of housekeeping, which if my screen share button will respond, we'll get going here. There we go. This is our homepage. If you're not familiar with this page, definitely bookmark it, check it out. Our weekly events are all advertised here. This is your source of truth. As we secure more speakers and topics, they will show up here before they show up anywhere else. So definitely keep an eye on this. You are here. We've got Stjepan here, going to talk about HubSpot AI connectors. Next week, we're diving deep into HubSpot's help desk tools. And then later in the month, we're talking about flexible CRM views, this new iteration of index pages in HubSpot CRM. January 27th, goodbye data gaps. So excited to have Maggie coming. Her team's been working so hard. As you've seen recently, new features, new associations available between different types, new association labels. Any gaps in feature parity between objects and HubSpot, her team is working to close. And she's going to come talk about those efforts and what you can expect. Then we're hopping straight to March with lead scoring and reporting. We will get February filled in. Don't worry about that. So if you ever miss one of our events, or if you want to review one, or if you want to share it with a friend, we do have a YouTube channel. We record our sessions. Today's session will be recorded and put here within the next week. And so you can find previous sessions here, watch them, rewatch them, share them, whatever you want to do. We love having these show and tell events. Typically what we will have at these events is either someone from HubSpot's product team coming, giving a deep dive, or someone like Stjepan from the community explaining how to do particular things in HubSpot. But we really love it when we can have you, just HUG members, giving short, 5-minute presentations on something you built in HubSpot that you're proud of. So if that's you, if that happens to you sometime in 2026, please fill out this form, let us know. Once we have 4 or 5 or 6 of you, we will schedule an event and have you show off your work to everyone else. I think this is some of the most valuable learning we can provide here. So let's make it happen as often as possible. Community.hubspot.com is HubSpot's, it's mostly a support forum, but we do have a space on there, HubSpot Admin HUG, if you want to hang out with people there. We also have a group and a company page on LinkedIn. So if LinkedIn is your place, be sure to check that out. And then, again, we're here every week. So we would love your suggestions on speakers or topics that would be valuable to you. Feel free to fill this out or reach out to me or Deanna directly. We're both very active on LinkedIn. Talk with us, let us know what you would like to see, and we'll do our best to make it happen. And then if you want a summary view of everything we covered and some other stuff, Deanna has put together this info page with links to everything you could ever want. So that is enough for the icebreakers. Again, if this is your first time, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm going to hand it over to Stjepan now.
Thank you, Kyle. So really happy to be here and start the year. So let me just share my screen and I'll try to make it bigger if it's needed. Hopefully this is okay. The presentation will be shared to Deanna and all like some other resources that I will get to. So you will have everything. And yeah, let's dive in. So this topic is about mastering HubSpot AI connectors. So we are focusing on GPT, Claude, Gemini integrations, that will help you transform how your teams work with customer data. So let's dive into the agenda. So 45 minutes of me talking and showcasing some of things, and then I think like 10 to 15 minutes of Q&A. I build up a bonus for you from the admin perspective because I did the super admin bootcamp. I know that that can be valuable. Some prompts that work and some admin rollout checklists that you can use to roll out this to your teams, different roles, whatever you need. Some key takeaways here. I'm focusing on which AI connector to use for specific tasks and how to enable your team for success and implement those tools with confidence, because there is a gist to it. Before we dive into this is me. Some of you know me from LinkedIn. Some of you know me from maybe some like webinars I do. I'm currently at Digital Reach, a nonprofit tech shop. I'm a head of enablement and training there. I also do some consulting, trained a lot of people using HubSpot as their GTM tool, co-produced the Super Admin Bootcamp that Kyle invited me a couple of years back to do with George. And I'm also dad to a 6.5-year-old son and a 1.5-year-old girl named Lena. So I'm trying to master my efficiency. It's a survival. But for me, probably it's easy because I know, Kyle, you have more than 2 kids. So that's like probably different survival mode. I started a newsletter called Ops Life and Everything, where I just want to showcase what I'm working on, what's working, what I'm reading, some parenting strategies, and just life in general. And I run a podcast with my coworker Martin called the RevOps Loop. That and I'm a diehard Seahawks fan. So if anybody's watching NFL, we are #1 seed in the NFC. So that's good for me. Here are some of the links. You can connect with me on LinkedIn, but let's dive into the today's topic. Okay, so we'll cover intro, then I will go into ChatGPT deep dive, Claude deep dive, Gemini. I build a comparison framework, and I also have an implementation guide that I want to cover. Hopefully, we will go through everything in this session. I will be aware of time. So first off, let's see where the shift is. So basically, we are living right now in AI era, and over 70% of HubSpot customers are already using AI tools. And this is not a prediction. I tried to deep research this, and I found from one of the surveys from the customer base. So your team is probably already using these tools. They're drafting emails using GPT. They're asking Claude with like help to manage the proposals, and they're using Gemini in their Google Docs, Sheets, and everywhere else. But if all this sounds familiar, then what's the problem? So these AI tools are completely blind to your business. And what that means is that you can ask ChatGPT to help you write a follow-up email, but it has no idea that you already sent 3 emails to that prospect, that you opened the last one, but they didn't reply. So AI is powerful, but it's flying blind. And that's exactly what these connectors solve. HubSpot has built native integrations that bring your CRM context directly into this tool. And I think it's the first CRM that did that for all of the 3 biggest AI tools. Okay, so let's go to the next slide and about what are these connectors. I know there was like a hug regarding the AI connectors, but just quickly going over this. So basically, a simple definition is AI connectors are built-in bridges that let you use GPT superpowers, Claude superpowers, or Gemini superpowers with your actual HubSpot data. So think of it this way. You're giving this AI special permissions to look at your CRM. And now when you ask a question, the AI doesn't just make something up. It actually searches, queries your contacts, your deals, your objects, your tickets, everything, and gives you an answer based on your data. So here's what that enables. First, you can ask questions in plain English, and you get a real answer. Second, you get insights grounded in your customer context, not generic advice. And third, and this is very new, some connectors can now take actions, and I will get to that. And I was pretty excited when I saw that in the HubSpot product updates. So you can create tasks, you can log notes, you can even create deals directly from the AI chat. And the fourth, this all happens without you needing to build anything or like export data and then put the data to AI, or maybe like send something like a webhook or whatever. So you don't need to do context switching between the tools. So let's go and look at three connectors at a glance. So I break it down. When was the launch date? What's the status? And what they are best for. So basically, ChatGPT was first to market. I think it launched in June. Its superpower is deep research. So, but it's read only for now, and it only works in web browser. Claude came next in July, and is the most capable for now. It's the only one that can now actually write back to HubSpot. So you can create, you can log, and you can also analyze. Plus, it has access to all the engagement history. So all the emails, calls, and meetings. And it works everywhere. I'm using it far often on my mobile. So you can just use it on mobile. You have a connector on your mobile, and you can browse the CRM. Gemini is the newest. It is in public beta. I got a chance from the HubSpot team to test it when it was in private beta. It's pretty powerful. The superpower is that it lives in Gmail. You can pull HubSpot data right in your Gmail sidebar without ever leaving your inbox. So going down further, and I think that's where, like, from the admins here, is that sounds great, but I need to bring this to my IT team, and they're going to have some questions. And I hear that a lot because I also like saw that on Reddit, like the AI is getting trained on my data. So that's not correct. Number one, these connectors are permissions respecting. So whatever a user can see in HubSpot is what they can see through a connector. If your sales rep can only see their own deals, that's all they see in Claude. So there's no backdoor access. Number two, and I think this is the big one, none of these AI connectors or companies train their models on your CRM data. Not OpenAI, not Anthropic, not Google. The customer data stays your customer data. There are some edge cases, I think, but by default, your data isn't being used by any of them. The connectors are read only by default, and I can look at your data but can't change anything. But side note, recently, like end of November, Claude has now write capabilities, but that's an opt-in, and it's very controlled. And number four, sensitive data is protected. So think about custom sensitive properties like personal health information, credit card numbers, and some other highly sensitive data types. The connectors simply don't have access to those. Okay, so we cover that, and let's now do deep dives into all of the three tools. First off, I want to go with ChatGPT because it was the first one. So ChatGPT was the first CRM connector, and its superpower, and I'm talking about every AI connector superpower, is deep research. And HubSpot calls that, if you go on their website, doctorate level analysis. And that's like not a made up thing. I tested it with a couple of like pretty big portals, and you can use ChatGPT deep research mode with HubSpot data. It will spend 5, 10, sometimes 30 minutes actually analyzing the data, identifying patterns, producing reports with a lot of like, where did it get it, what contact, what's associated, and more. To use this, you need a HubSpot account on any tier, free even works, and a paid ChatGPT subscription. So that's Plus, Pro, Team, and Enterprise. If you're in Europe, like I am, you will need a Team or Enterprise for the full features. And one other important limitation, currently mobile app is not supported, and I'm just using that on the web version. Okay, And let me know if I'm going too fast or anything, but I have like a lot of slides I want to take over. So the deep research that we covered, let's talk about what ChatGPT can actually see. It has read-only access to your core objects, contacts, companies, deals, tickets. But critical limitation is that it cannot write for now. I think they will switch that. And then that's very important if you're deciding which connector you're using and which connector you want to use. And it cannot also see your engagement data. No emails, no calls. And it sees the object, but not the interactions. So if you need to ask, what did we talk about in our last call? It cannot help you. So you will need probably Claude for that. But also like no sensitive data and properties. Okay, so we covered that. This is just like a little screen share. What's the key limitations, what's accessible and what's not. So let's cover ChatGPT uses by roles, because like from the admin perspective, how do you use it? How do you say to your teams when to use it, what to write, and like enable them and make them more powerful, and so they stick to it and use it if you have licenses. So where does ChatGPT really shine? Some examples by roles for HubSpot admins. Many of you are here admins. ChatGPT is phenomenal for the big picture analysis questions, like analyze patterns in ticket volume by category so we can forecast staffing, find data quality issues across contact records, and some other questions like an admin asks itself. For sales teams, that can be about like pipeline intelligence, like segment target companies by revenue, industry, and tech stack. And then maybe you can also ask it to do a web browser and use a web and benchmark all of this data across the industry. You can like collaborate there. Marketing wise, it's for like channel analysis, like finding the highest conversion contact segments acquired in the last 90 days. Compare the average deal size by a regional source. And for customer success or CS teams, it's just like risk identification. So identify accounts with the highest churn risk based on some ticket patterns or analyze customer data health. So if you notice the pattern here, ChatGPT excels across large data sets. So like those are the see the bigger picture questions. So the next slide is the ChatGPT demo steps they need to do. And I know recently there was an AI connector hug where they showed how to connect it. So I will just quickly change my screen real quick here and show you that like I'm here in my ChatGPT. The only thing I need you to understand is once you click the plus icon, you need to go to your Explore apps and then find ChatGPT or HubSpot, sorry, just type HubSpot and then you'll find it. And then this is what it can do. You can start to chat. I already have it connected, but basically there are two ways to use it. First one is standard one, that's chat mode. The other is extended thinking or deep research. And that's what I want to cover here because like you can just follow along how to connect it. Basically here, just click the website link that HubSpot will provide you and you can easily go here and see how to connect it, what it can do, and when to use which. But going back to my presentation, let's just focus on the two types of modes. So that's the chat mode and deep research mode. So chat mode, quick one-off questions, real-time lookups, simple queries, and daily operation. And deep research, multi-step analysis, when you want to like prepare for a board meeting and you don't know where to start, takes 5 to 30 minutes depending on the complexity. So that's how I will use ChatGPT there. How to get most out of ChatGPT and HubSpot? Be specific with timeframes. So use last 90 days instead of like show me my recently created contacts. Use property names. So reference exact fields like lifestyle stages SQL, not sales, I don't know, appointed lead, whatever. Ask for visualizations and combine with web search. I think that's very powerful. Like you can compare to industry benchmarks. Limitations, web version, no engagement data, cannot modify, and EU requirements. So like I cannot use all the full features because I'm in European Union and I don't have team, I only have pro. So that's the limitations there. Can you connect more than? Oh, we'll get to questions. Sorry, but I'm looking at the chat. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I will answer that. So no worries. Let's go to Claude connector deep dive, and this is where I'm most excited about Claude because it was just similar to GPT, but when I saw in the product updates that I'm like going there daily, a couple of times in a day, as somebody that's watching a lot of portals, and I saw you can opt in into like write capabilities. I was like, this is super crazy, and I needed to test it immediately. You will see that in the demo that I did is how I tested it. So it's a newcomer. It's launched in July, but now you can write. You cannot just you don't just read data. You can actually create stuff. So you can create deals, contacts, log notes, tasks, and that's a game changer, I think, for productivity. The second differentiator is engagement history because Claude can see your emails. It can see your calls, meeting stats. ChatGPT can't, and Gemini can't if something didn't change in the last week. Only Claude. The third is availability. So it works everywhere. You can use it on web, desktop, and even mobile. As I said, I use it a lot in mobile because, and think about it, like your team, your teams, your reps can update HubSpot from their phone while walking out of a meeting. I know they can do that with HubSpot mobile app, but in a mobile app, they need to like click here, click here, click here. If you have it connected on a mobile app, they fire Claude, they just say, I was in a meeting with this person, these are my notes, create them. And the Claude will do that. So requirements familiar, HubSpot, any HubSpot tier, paid Claude subscription, Pro Max, Team, or Enterprise, and that's it. You can use it. Okay, so we already covered some of the actions. So superior reasoning, it can do beautiful visualizations, write capabilities, and you will have access everywhere. So what Claude can see and do in HubSpot? So it has full read access. It has write access. And the game changer for me is Claude combination of engagement history access and write capabilities. So you can analyze past interactions, immediately take actions, and I think this is currently the best one to do. Sensitive properties, as in all of them, are restricted, and that's the ones that they cannot touch. So let's do the same that we did for GPT and go through roles. So as a HubSpot admin, how do you use Claude AI? So for example, you just say create a task for each deal owner with sales deals over 30 days and prioritize by deal value. Show me a visualization of ticket volume trends by channel. Log a note on all contacts from yesterday webinar, thanking them from attending, or maybe like doing something, updating a property. So then the workflow will fire. And you can do that from Claude. That's like one of the simplest use cases. For sales, this can be show active deals organized by name, amount, and stage, review recent calls, create a new deal with prospect X, put it in discovery stage, close date end of whatever, and you get this created. For marketing is follow-up tasks, finding contacts that opened like a specific email, but didn't click. And for customer success, I think this is where it shines because they can just be in Claude and they will see all the tickets that they're assigned and they can do whatever they need on those tickets. So let's jump into setting up the Claude connector. And as always, you can just use the links. Uh, Try these prompts and let's just jump into Claude. I already have it open here. So let me open this one here. So first off, how do you connect the two? You can just go to your settings, and then find the apps and search HubSpot and enable it. So let's start with the new chat to show you that. And it is super easy here. So when it's connected, you will see add from HubSpot, all of the best, like last prompts, very easy. You just go connectors and then manage connectors, find HubSpot connected. Here you can use it or not. And that's what you need to do. So my test here, when I first started playing with writing to HubSpot, the new powerful feature like superpower of Claude, was can you pull my recent ticket in HubSpot? So you can see here how Claude goes and tells you what it's doing. So you can learn how it's getting that data. So you can see it's getting user details, it's searching through recent tickets, it's searching to CRM objects, and it found my recent ticket and the ticket name just from one prompt. It got me the ticket name, when the ticket was created, and this is the same day that they rolled out the right capabilities. And I just did the demo ticket to test it. There's an issue description. There's a customer that's saying we have a new issue with Claude, we cannot do the connector, it's failing, whatever. It gives you specific symptoms, what customer is requesting, and this is the only ticker in my like that I'm owning in the demo portal. But if you use HubSpot skills, if you use HubSpot projects, you can train how this data will get back to your customer success teams. So you can use it, give it the different skills, and then fire it up, and it will be different. What I then did is I just said, can you create a note on a ticket that says this has been sorted via phone call? And it just said, I will create a note on that ticket for you. Let me show you what I'm about to create. And it just says here an object type, an association. Do I want to approve? Yes or no. When you do that for the first time, it will then also ask you, do you want to skip this step for approving? So once you click yes, it just created a note. So I will not jump into the portal, show you if it's created or not, because it has been created and we're using this very heavily with some of the teams, but that's how easy it is. And it's not just for tickets, it can be for contacts, it can be for sales, like account executive, creating a deal, updating something on a deal, maybe managing or logging a note to some other team member from their phone. I just had a phone call with this. They're ready to sign, but they need this from us. So like you don't need to do Slack, you don't need to. You're just doing it directly from your Claude, and it can use, as I said, specific skills that you feed it to. Okay, so let's move on forward to decision framework because we've covered two of it. So we covered when to use Claude, when to use GPT. So basically, if you need to take action, HubSpot, use Claude. If you need to search or query engagement history, use Claude. If you're working on a mobile or desktop app, use it. If you need deep strategic research, you will use GPT. If you need comprehensive reading reports, GPT, and as I said, complex identification, GPT. So think about it like, for example, if you are in strategy phase, use the GPT connector. If you're in execution phase, use Claude for do it actions. How to get most from Claude to HubSpot? We already covered a lot of this, but basically it's ask for visualization, chain requests. So for example, what I showed you, find accounts, analyze, create follow-up tasks. So like chain requests are where Claude shines, and then you can just execute that request by doing something and changing something directly in your CRM. Use it on mobile, so you can update a lot of things directly from your mobile. And what's unique here is that you can set up persistent context for HubSpot workflows based on skills. So you can build specialized prompts for your teams to reuse. And there's also MCP integrations. I will not cover it, but I did it in the bonus resource that I will share, that Diana will share. And you can connect multiple tools in one seamless workflow. I did show in chat, can we connect multiple to one account? I just want to answer that right now. You can. So I have connected Gemini, GPT, and Claude to one account, and everything is working fine. So then you just maybe use Cursor, connect everything there, and then you can just say, oh, use Gemini to do this, use Claude to do this, use GPT to do this. But that's another topic to cover. Okay, so moving to Gemini Connector Deep Dive, and let me see how we're with the time. I think we're good. So that's great. So let's dive into Gemini Connector Deep Dive. And Gemini is relatively new. I think it's the newest. It's still in public beta, as I know, and it has a very specific superpower. So it's a Google Workspace integration. So most of the companies run on Google. You have Gmail, Docs, Sheets, Chat. So Gemini is going to feel like magic. Because of going to a separate AI tool, you can access HubSpot data from right inside the apps you're already using. So if you're in Gmail, you can read an email from a prospect. You click the Gemini icon and type @HubSpot. So I will show you how that looks right now. So the only thing that you need to do when you're prompting Gemini, you need to tell it that you are searching, browsing, querying HubSpot once you have it connected. We will get to the connection, but just so you're not like wondering, okay, how to do it. So just type @HubSpot here. For example, you just type @HubSpot and you will see the connected apps and then tell it something. So I just tell it, can you tell me about contact name Stjepan? And it says Stjepan is email, job title, company phone. So this is not a correct job title. So I just said, can you change the job title? And we cannot do that. Claude could change the job title because it will search that and it will ask me, do you want me to change the job title name? So that's the difference. That's the huge difference right now. But I think as everything is getting better and better, probably everything will be available to write to back to CRM. Okay, so then what's Gemini value proposition? I think the value proposition for me is zero context switching between Google native teams. So requirements are a bit different. Like you will need Google Workspace Business Standard, Business Plus, or Enterprise, and you need to enable Gemini Alpha, and that's an IP admin setting. So you may need to coordinate with your Google Workspace admin. And current limitation is English only. It's still in beta, and features are evolving. But as we know, is like some of you are maybe following how AI, those three big AI are evolving. Like Gemini 3 is probably still my favorite because when it arrived, it was far better than GPT, I think 4.1 or something. Now they're very close, so I think this will also evolve as we go. Okay, so key strengths, we cover that. It's perfect for workspace shops. You can draft content with HubSpot data, so you can compose emails using customer context without leaving the compose window, and you can connect it just following the simple instructions from the product updates in HubSpot, or just even type HubSpot Gemini connector and connect it. So moving forward, what can Gemini see? So it's read access only. It's not yet accessible tickets and support data, custom properties that were being created, engagement, and wide compatibilities. And where the Gemini works, Cyber integration, Google Docs, Sheets, and chat. So it's fairly new. That's why I think all of these things are not very accessible, but probably will be. So as we covered for GPT, as we covered for Claude, let's cover the use cases by roles. So for admin role, we would like Gemini to show me a list of contacts in lead lifecycle stage, so we can quickly audit lead flow. You need to always use @HubSpot when you're prompting it, as I showed. So you need to say it @HubSpot. If you don't do that, it will just search the web and try to get some data, and you will just use your credits. And we don't want to do that. I did that a couple of times because I forgot. So for sales, just like show me deals closing this month and draft personalized follow-up, open prospect emails, see context and whatever. For marketing, show me contacts from Q1 webinar series called this and this, and customer success. You will get probably a couple of errors while you're doing the prompts, but my next step when I do errors is like asking it, how would you write a prompt to get what I need? And then Gemini will say, this is the prompt, and then you just like, okay, execute this. So that's like just like a little workaround while it's getting better and better that you need to be aware of. Okay, so setting up the Gemini connector, breakdown here. Gemini Alpha needs to be enabled. Admin authorized HubSpot connector in Google Workspace. User activation is done here, and you need to toggle and authenticate on HubSpot. And while we are talking here, probably in 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whoever is watching, maybe something of this changed, because I know ChatGPT recently changed that there's not something that's called a connector. Now everything is apps. So when I was using it, it gave me like an error. I cannot do that. But I know I did it in the past. So then usually what you need to do is just like disable and reconnect the connector, and it will work perfectly. So that's just like a tip if you're running into some issues when you're connecting or when you're using it and then something. Because I think like when GPT releases something, everybody else needs to say, okay, we will change this. And I think HubSpot is doing a great job changing it. So getting the most out of the connector, always use the HubSpot prefix. This is required to trigger the connector. Without it, it will not know to query your CRM. And we covered like most of this. Some limitations for now. Maybe this is not a limitation in a week or two or a month. And I think it's perfect for teams living in Google Workspace. We use Google. We use it a lot. And sales reps practically live in Gmail. And quick lookups during email composition, I think that's where it shines. Okay, so we break down all three, but now let's do comparison and decision. And this little simple table that I wanted to outline as it stands today is where to use it for the job and where it shines, where it doesn't shine, and what's available. So to break it down real quickly, I think I mentioned ChatGPT wins in deep research. So that's 3 stars, and I think that's its superpower. If you want to write to HubSpot, it's only Claude for now. That's Claude's superpower. If you want to use it across Google Workspace, only Gemini. So Gemini is the superpower. But if you want to make it like see what else is there available. You can see, for example, that GPT and Claude can access tickets, Gemini can, custom properties, Gemini can, and more. Okay, so what I want you to take away is this. There's no single best connector. So there's no one like single best connector. There's only the best connector for a specific use case. And I think smart teams, the teams that are evolving, will use multiple connectors for different purposes. And I think that's that's what you need to like take away from this. It's like there's no one. Like, and that's why I started this presentation with like teams are already paying with subscriptions. There's like 20 seats, only 10 used for AI tools. So use all of them, see what's working for your workflow and how to get to that workflow. And that's why I wanted to do like simple decision tree, like, do we need to take action? HubSpot, yes, we use Claude. Do we want to see engagement history? Yes, we use Claude. Do we work inside Gmail and Docs? Okay, let's collaborate Claude and Gemini. Do we need strategic research? Yes, let's use ChatGPT. Do we want to do any quick data lookups? Let's do any of them. So whatever somebody is comfortable. So ChatGPT for strategy, Claude for execution, and Gemini for Google. So for some roles that don't need all of this and they don't want to context switch. Role-based recommendations from my end, from admin side, admin should have access to Claude and GPT because they need to write, they have full data access, and they have they can do deep analysis. And I think they should also consider the MCP for custom integrations and some advanced workflows building for their organization. For sales rep, I think Gemini is enough. Quick lookups, follow-up drafting, deal updates between meetings, just to see what's happened. And I think like Power Move for sales reps are Claude for end of the day activity logging to maintain CRM hygiene. So like just wrapping the day, open a mobile app or on the desktop, and just like I did this. Let's write. For marketing managers, ChatGPT easily for analysis, attribution modeling, and more. Customer success, Claude, but I would say admin needs to control it. And secondary, Gemini. So like use cases like health monitoring, proactive outreach, and more. Okay, so we have a couple more minutes. Hybrid power play is just the one that I think is the best, is making sure that you use whatever you can, because as I said, most teams already pay for 1 to 2 AI subscriptions. Connectors are free with HubSpot. You just need the AI platform subscription. Now the team subscription to all of AI tools are probably cheaper than having an individual one. So, and the investment of like $20 to $30 per user is clear win if your team is using it correctly, and it saves a lot of per week time. So we have a couple more minutes, but I want to leave some for questions. So I will just quickly go through this MCP and custom integrations, but because I think it's just like for more power users and developers, because you can extend beyond the your connectors. You can build a lot of it. Most of you probably know what is an MCP. This is just a simple definition. How you can do from with the MCP servers, what you can then do with Claude. I prefer Claude currently because we can write, but what you can build is developer workflows, custom integrations, some automation examples. So I'm currently building like MC. I have an MCP and I have a workflow that like somebody puts something in a like a pretty nice UI, and it will just run a N810 in the background, analyze everything, and give you like sequences for your industry, It will give you, I don't know, what you need to audit, what you need to look at it. It will give you emails like CTAs that you need to put on your website and more. So there's lots of powerful automation you can do using the connectors with other tools through the MCP. And the third-party integration platforms that I recommend are N8N, Make, or Zapier. Just depends what you're comfortable with and what you want to use, and maybe what your organization is already paying for. But this is what I want to cover in the next 3 to 4 minutes is the admin implementation guide. So this is an admin hug. So I wanted to create something that you as an admin, or if you're just starting in that role, you can use to successfully roll out AI connectors across your organization. So let's see what it has here. So first off is week 1 planning. So I would like you to survey your team. Ask which AI tools do they already use. Audit your current HubSpot permission structure. Like, do you have permission sets? Do you have teams hierarchically set up? Identify pilot group for power users, and maybe get budget approval when you do all of this and you go to your C-level and say, like, we need 3 or 4 more. Week 2 or week 3, you connect, you configure, you record a couple of looms, you start people to like use it, document everything, create some internal resources. And what I see is working is like using a user custom properties. You can create custom ones, like I think it's only enterprise, but like if you have access to that, create it and then just build an onboarding using like AI onboarding and just like steps. So when they complete something, you send them an email to them saying, okay, this is your next step. So that's way it's like gamified and people love it. And then weeks 3 to 5 is just enable people to use it, enable broader team, host maybe training sessions internally, create Slack, Teams channel for tips, and do monthly review of usage and value delivered. So that's basically how I would do it. If you want to enable your teams, couple of prompts, give your team a head start. Everything will be shared afterwards. So I'm just like skipping this literally, but give them some prompts that they can test that work. And these are common, like some of the problems they will influence. Like I cannot see certain records, the connector isn't working, cannot find custom properties. So you now know why. Right actions are not working. For example, they're using Claude, they know but like you need to, as an admin, say, okay, do we need to connect again? So before we jump into the questions and answers, and I think we're close on time there. So I built this. Diana will share this. It's a bonus resource for all of you with some of the prompts that I'm using, the admin implementation guide, and you will have full access to this. So because it's New Year's, and I just wanted to have like a little gift under the tree. So that is for me. So over to you, Kyle and Diana.
Thanks, Stjepan. That was great. Yeah, everybody head over to the Q&A. There's a little Q&A button down at the bottom. You can see the questions others have asked. Upvote them. We will go most upvote to least upvote. If the question on your mind is not there, feel free to upvote or feel free to add it. While you all are adding questions and stuff, I saw one question come through about if you use Claude to update data in HubSpot, how is that shown in like audit logs and stuff? So while Stjepan was talking, I reached out to the engineering team and they sent me some screenshots. So if you'll stop sharing just a second, Stjepan, I will share my screen because I think this is actually really cool. And I expect many of you admins will actually really appreciate this. It is even better than I imagined it would be. So this is the audit log page. This is a screenshot. What you're seeing is when a change has been made, you will see it attributed to the user, but it will say assisted by AI connector. So that is transparent. And if you're looking at property history, it will say it was an integration, HubSpot connector for Claude, but it'll tell you which user did it. So you can see both. I think the question was trying to get at wait, is this going to attribute it to Claude? Is it going to attribute it to the user? There's no either or. You will see both. So that information is there. Knew you guys would love it. You guys get me. I get you. All right. I'm going to head over to the Q&A now. I'm going to work most upvoted, least upvoted as promised. Feel free to keep the questions trickling in. We have about 10 minutes. I don't know that we'll get through all of them, but happy to get through as many as we can. Rose asks, what agreements or contracts does HubSpot have with models like ChatGPT to ensure the same data privacy and protection standards set out in HubSpot's terms and conditions are upheld? That's a tough question. I don't know if you know the inside scoop on that.
Yeah, so I was reviewing a couple of them, but basically, yeah, we can probably add that to the resource because it's a lot. But there are legal documents and probably some other types that are saying that they will not train on our CRM data. And I believe that's what every other AI connector has. So, but basically, maybe do a deep research on that, or just go to their page and look about the AI connector. There are a couple of links there that are pointing to that documentation. So
yeah. If you, I apologize for not being prepared for this question, but if you go to trust.hubspot.com, we have a ton of documents, and I'm pretty sure we have one just on AI. I forget what it's called exactly.
Chat.
Huh?
Karina put it in the chat.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Perfect.
It's in the chat, yeah.
I'm just scrolling down. AI Trust at HubSpot. There's a whole section on it. AI Trust FAQs. So trust.hubspot.com. That's the place for that. Can you track back in HubSpot what Claude updated, or is it logged as a user based on the connectors off? I answered that one. Okay, Tracy, how about credit use for or with any of this? Connectors, I don't think consume credits. Is that what you've experienced, Stjepan? No credits required?
I don't think you need credits. Like if you're referring to Breeze, you are not using any credits. So in the additional resource, I did added us like a couple of slides when to use Breeze, when to use other AI connectors. As we all know, is like Breeze is built using AI, OpenAI technology, and then combination of other AI tools. That's what I think. So for some of the things, I think you're good using Breeze, but like for the other things that I here mentioned, use AI connectors, and it will not use any Breeze credits. So because like you are already paying for a seat using Claude, so like it will be, I say, double charge if it like, oh, well, let's use Breeze credits and let's charge you for your seat. So it's not using any credits.
Yeah. So HubSpot credits are just for HubSpot AI tools.
Yeah.
You sort of touched on this. Karina wants you to go deeper. How do these connectors compare with the HubSpot Assistant? A lot of the examples mentioned are doable with HubSpot Assistant without the need to connect other tools. So you had that matrix where you compared ChatGPT, Claude, and Gemini. If you added a column for HubSpot's the Breeze Assistant, are there things you would recommend doing there as opposed to bringing in other tools?
Yes. So I will recommend like whoever is, I don't know how to properly explain it, but let me try. So like Breeze has research agent, social media agent, like a lot of those agents are just specialized. So like I would think of them like niche coworkers that just only does one thing. So, but like using ChatGPT, using Claude, enabling Claude skills, and teaching it how to respond, how to empower your CS teams, and do more than the current Breathe agent. That's how I would use that. So let's say a sales rep, okay, you're using a prospecting agent, but it's only for prospecting. It has like a couple of steps. It's built what you need to put inside of that prospecting agent, what you will get, how many sequences it can like turn on and whatever. But like using Claude, sales can like do analysis and then let's say okay, for those 10 out of 20, create, I don't know, fill in this property, and you as an admin know that like filling this property will then trigger sequence enrollment or a workflow or something else. So that's where I think the connectors shine. It's not like one model that's built in Breeze. It's like more different things from the model. If that
Yeah. And I will say, the Breeze Assistant, so just the general sidebar chat thing you can access on every page inside HubSpot, has come a long ways. It's actually really powerful now. So if anyone here watching, you don't have a Claude subscription or a ChatGPT subscription, or you don't use Gemini or whatever, try some of the prompts and things Stjepan has talked about in Breeze Assistant and see how far you get. You probably will run into some limitations where it just, especially if you're doing the deep kinds of researchy sorts of things that ChatGPT is really good at, I would imagine you'll run into some limitations. But if you don't, if you can accomplish what you're doing just inside Breeze Assistant, there's no need for you to use these external tools. But these external tools are incredibly powerful. So if you find there are things you can't do, that's a great moment to pull in some extra AI muscle.
And to add what you're saying, so like an example will be a customer like agent. Okay, it can do a lot, so it's pretty powerful, but I don't think it can do external. Like it cannot do external research. So like if you're, for example, doing something like there's a product and you want to easily say, okay, let's research around all, like let's say our competitors doing similar product, maybe social media, what people are complaining, what they're answering, whatever, and then draft me an like response or help me to mitigate this ticket, then I will use Claude or GPT. And that's where I think it shines for now, because the customer agent is, as you said, pretty powerful, but it's there. It doesn't have all of this capabilities that the AI tools that are outside have. And I think that's where you should use a connector. But if you can do everything with Breeze, you have credits, and you know when people are know how to use it, then use this. So
cool. Chris asks, with Claude Write Access, can you set required information for creating records to ensure data quality? Example, companies must have an address, contacts must have a phone number, deals must have dates, company associations, contact associations.
So I didn't test that, but I believe if you're setting up a skill and if you're teaching it how to respond, let's say somebody wants to write, I think you can just say that every time somebody wants to write to HubSpot, the Claude reminds them that this is also needed to be added. So I think I can test it, but I think it's doable. Yeah, you'll get prompt back.
Yeah, Jessica asks, which Claude plan is compatible with HubSpot? It says it's free in the marketplace, but then when I go to install it, it indicates that I need to upgrade my plan.
So it's Pro or above.
Got it. Do these connectors read custom objects?
Yes. So some of like Gemini doesn't read all of them. GPT reads some of them, and I think Claude reads all. So
Christopher asks, any update on the timeline for Copilot connector? I haven't heard anything. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think HubSpot has published any information on that. And as I'm a HubSpot employee, but I don't recall hearing any rumblings. Someone in the chat asked about Grok also. There are a lot of different AI tools out there. Because connectors kind of require a
Christopher put a link in the chat to the community where the forum says it's in dev. I think we lost Kyle.
Okay. Thank you, Christopher. So I also don't know anything about the Copilot or any other AI tools.
All right, I'm going to pick up where he left off. We've got one more minute. let's see. How can we get ChatGPT to review our HubSpot web traffic analytics?
I'm thinking that it's better that you like just export like the reports and then put it into ChatGPT rather than prompting it directly from the chat for now. I also will encourage you to maybe try using Claude for that, uh, because both of them are very good at it. But for now, I would say maybe just like don't do the prompting directly from the chat widget rather than maybe exporting and putting there. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Screenshots. Like what I will do, I will go with the like for like Gemini 3, I think now you can just like go and record a loom and then go through the screens. This is my web traffic, whatever, and then push the URL and then ask it to analyze it. So there's like pretty good use cases for that.
I love that. Well, Stjepan, I appreciate you coming to the HUG. You're going to share those resources with me, which means I'm going to share those with all of you admins. I'm going to put your URL for LinkedIn in the chat if anyone wants to connect with you. Thank you for the playbook. And everybody, we will see you next Tuesday. Have a great week.
Thank you, everyone.
Welcome to the Admin HUG. No flash, just facts and a whole lot of love. Get it done. Accidental or all in by choice. Admin and flies and lift their voice. Fixing fields and hacking time. Making magic with no headline. Power drops gold. Diana brings fire in a crew that's here to lift you higher. We swap the wins and share the pain. No one's solo in this game. It's the Admin HUG, where legends log in. From chaos to clarity, that's how we win. Dirty data challenge accepted. Portal perfection fully connected. Quick fix queens, work around kings. Custom coded everything. Tabs open, coffee strong. You've been solving all along. We've got the know-how, we've got the map. Even HubSpot protocols up to chat. You're not just heard, you help shape the tools. Admins rewriting all the rules. Thanks for building with the HUG. Thanks for powering the HUG. Behind every campaign, push and nudge. There's a whole crew holding tight. Admins together.